Absolutely chaos. Whether it's New York Open and indices are extremely volatile, maybe FOMC or NFP, but those moments can lead to the internal chaos because now you have to process and interpret all of this information in what seems like seconds. Live market conditions can start to raise your heart rate. What do I do? The market is melting. It's coming to my zone. Do I still take it? Is there too much bearish momentum? Or you're already in a trade, but it's slipping closer and closer to your stop. Or price is steadily approaching your target, but it seems it can go even further. And what if you can make even more? So, what to do? These are all common experiences in the trading space, but they don't have to result in panic. As human beings, we seek stability. The markets are everything but that. Due to constant change, it's likely you feel like you're just never going to have control here. Mindfulness might be the answer that you're looking for. At least it's been extremely useful for me. I like this definition of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the process of actively noticing new things. When you do that, it puts you in the present. It makes you more sensitive to context and perspective. It's the essence of engagement. Practicing mindfulness can give you the advantage of opportunity during these price changes. It can give you the mental flexibility to switch your bias to accept new information. You can cut your losses shorter or avoid them altogether because you just didn't marry that trade. You accept the new information for what it is, and you're not just trading what you had made your mind up on. Beyond just trade management, the entire trading process evolves while practicing mindfulness. Regardless of what you're doing, either you're doing it mindfully or mindlessly. And when you're approaching the trading process mindfully, what you're doing sticks with you. Autopilot behavior, it doesn't. But when you're mindful, that action comes back to you. And these markets are oceans of uncertainty, right? We make risk based decisions on these uncertainties. And sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong, and sometimes we make mistakes. When we get it wrong, mindfulness reminds you that you're just wrong right now. You won't be wrong forever. Since you're engaging with right now, you recognize that you not only lost the battle, that's it. You just been at the war. Mindfulness is even more powerful after you make a mistake. When you don't follow your trading system, guys, ideally this practice prevents mistakes, but let's imagine a scenario where you're mindlessly trading. In my experience, the moment I make the mistake, I know I messed up. And then you're just basically hoping it goes well. So let's not rely on hope. And just as fast as you broke your plan, you can fix your mistake. You're able to put it into context for your situation. If you do nothing about your mistake, chances are the outcome is going to be significantly worse than it needs to be. So you have to be able to stitch yourself up so you're not bleeding out. Now, look, stress is not a function of events, it's a function of the view you take on those events. I mentioned how you're either mindful or mindless in anything that you do, especially because there's time, money, energy, and all this is on the line while you trade. The option to trade mindlessly is completely off the table. If the game was always the same, then sure, but it's not. So there's no world in which you can approach this mindlessly. If you submit yourself to that belief, then you realize how important it is to follow your procedures. And look, I'm sure you have some sort of confirmations for your trading system. But before you go, I want to make sure you have an ideal checklist. Not in terms of what exactly you need to get into the market or out of the market, but just how to build a checklist that you'll actually mindfully use. Okay. Checklists become pretty boring and likely for you to approach mindlessly, just monotonously. But I do think there's a way. And if you require qualitative information, then you have to consciously input specific information in order for you to get to the next step in your trading process. So I'll give you an example. Ask yourself, what time frame are you looking at the market, and is the market trending with or against your setup? If it's trending with your setup, are you risking 1 hour or half hour? If it's trending against your setup, are you risking 1 hour or half hour? So when you ask yourself questions that lead to mindful thinking, you're way less prone to mistakes because you're using the present to create context for yourself. Trading is really only one trade at a time, nothing more, nothing less. If you make that trade matter, all of your trading matters. You have a choice: be mindful or mindless. There's infinite outcomes, but the worst result is losing mindlessly. So as you trade, be mindful, acknowledge new things, make it meaningful to you, and watch your trading transform. All right, what's up, guys? ¿Qué tal todos? ¿Cómo están? ¿Qué me cuentan? ¿Qué lo que? Bueno, espero que se sientan increíble por aquí. Hope you guys are feeling amazing. Let's go. Last day of the week today. Let's see what happens today. Will we finally see the market start to go bullish, or is it just is this gonna just keep on pushing down? So we're gonna dive into a few things there, and yeah, we're gonna get into some not just crypto, but we'll be getting into, of course, indices. This is our bread and butter over here. I actually talked yesterday about how if US 30 failed to maintain these highs, we were probably going to push lower again. And there we have it. No demand up here, market goes lower. So interesting, very interesting over here. Entonces, hasta aquí tenemos ejemplos de cómo el mercado falló de crear demanda aquí y seguía bajando. Entonces todos los miembros que están aquí conmigo estaban con esto en vivo. So yeah, guys, before I kick things off, I want to make sure that I can get my camera settings on point over here. Here we go. All right, 1 second. How are you guys doing? Where are you plugging in from? Appreciate everybody who's already, clicking the like button, subscribing, doing all that good stuff, dropping some comments, getting some traffic over here. Appreciate you guys. All right, so this should be good now. Ooh, that is not it. Hold on a second. Let's go. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, that should be fine. Right over here. And then on this end. All right, 1 sec, guys. Just about got it set up. Cool. All right. Hello. ¿Qué tal todos? Guys, remember, this will be a bilingual stream. Esta sesión va a ser bilingüe, Spanglish, un poquito de inglés, un poquito de español. Quiero que todos puedan aquí aprender algo, entonces voy a hacer lo mejor que pueda para que todos puedan estar capturando, aprendiendo algo. ¿Me siguen? So, I see we got LA, Tampa, Manchester, Netherlands, Argentina, Seattle, Germany. Feliz día. That's awesome, guys. So, okay, cool. So before we get this started, obviously we're about 16 minutes away from New York Open. Before we kick things off, I want to remind you guys that if you do share this on your story that you're live here trading with me, tag me, because I will be picking a winner. Once we hit 100, I will be picking one person to win a trading journal. And then every 25 that we go up, I'm going to give something else away. So a trading book, trading journal, and a trading book at 150, and so on. So the goal is to get to 150 today. And I think we got it. Entonces, chicos, si quieren compartir que estamos aquí en vivo, solo me etiquetan en su historia y cuando llegamos a 100 voy a regalar una bitácora gratis, y de ahí voy a cada 25 personas que están más en vivo seguir regalando algo por aquí. So yeah, let's dive into it, guys. Let's dive into it. Let's see what the markets got for us today. I think we have a lot to look at. So let's just dive right in here. So, all right, perfect. Okay, so how are you guys looking at this right now? How do you guys feel about the market overall? Are you feeling more so the desire to keep selling? Are you guys looking for buys with indices? What's the vibe right now? Latina in Canada, what's up? So, okay, this we talked about. Cool. Obviously, this didn't hold, so we're not bullish here. But we did end up all the way back to a level that I had marked up from, I think, November or January, right around here. There was a mitigation setup we were waiting for, so perfect, played out of the zone. Mitigó esa zona del 17. And a lot of other things also came into place. We had NASDAQ finally took out this liquidity. This liquidity, I remember we were live on a Monday, and we were zoomed in over here. You know, we were trading. We were just kind of looking to see what could happen around this time. And I remember not taking buys over here because it left equal lows. So I was like, all right, yeah, I don't really want to buy there. Liquidity, you know, it can sweep that. And then it mitigated and it didn't sweep the liquidity. I'm like, that's weird. Like, all right, cool. It'll go for it later. I did not expect it to take 6 weeks. So eventually we got below this liquidity. And so a lot of this higher time frame perspective is kind of coming into place now. You know, we've cleaned up this imbalance as well. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. There are some signs that things can start to turn around, but again, I would want to see 1 hour breaks of structure to the upside before we can start to swing trade any buy setups. So right now, sells are definitely, even though we've dropped so much, the market still is bearish. So if there are sell opportunities, then fantastic. And I'll go over that. But if there's buy opportunities, then also we can take a swing at something as well. And the big thing that for me really gave us a lot of perspective, and I'll get into that in a second. Let me translate real quick. Pero chicos, básicamente Nasdaq capturó liquidez desde enero, mitad de enero, que faltaba mucho tiempo que no lo había hecho. Entonces, como en general, como que el mercado ya ya es eficiente. Entonces, posiblemente podemos arrancar ya hacia arriba. Pero vamos a esperar confirmaciones. So with S&P 500, guys, one thing that was really interesting to me, and this is what I was waiting for to confirm that US 30 buy, was I wanted to see S&P rebalance this area as well. There was no, like, it was already good over here. We just had to get down to here. So once we started to break below yesterday, I was like, okay, we're going to work our way all the way down to somewhere in this imbalance, playing off a structure, and we just literally tapped out of here, and then the market started to push. So overall, if we're looking at the daily time frame on S&P, you know, you're looking at this entire move here, right? So you had the retracement, the rebalancing. If the markets are going to continue bullish on these higher time frame, if that's going to be the case, then today will probably should be a bullish day if the markets are going to stay bullish. Now, obviously, we see US 30 could still come back down to here, mitigate some lower levels, etc. It may or may not. I don't know. We'll see what today looks like, because US 30 is already starting off pretty bullish. So I'm not sold on swing trades until we get a break above here. So I'm going to add that over here. Entonces yo no estoy alcista con US 30 en temporadas mayores hasta que quebremos aquí. Necesitamos quebrar este alto para que estemos alcista. Excuse me. So I'll just write a note here. Until we break above and create demand. So I guess I can simplify this until we create demand above this structure swing trades stay bearish. Entonces, aquí hasta que veamos demanda arriba de esta estructura, swing trades siguen bajista. Again, I feel like a lot of higher time frame stuff just became very efficient. So if the market wanted to turn around, it could be now, but let's just see. This is US 30. NASDAQ obviously very bearish still all the way down here, really no pullbacks. US 30 right now, if we're looking at this, it's starting to make its way back around that kind of 38 to 50% in between. So we can see something here. NAS obviously way more bearish. Sells just make a lot more sense with NASDAQ overall. S&P a little bit, not as bearish, but definitely not as bullish as US 30. So yeah, so if we do have any buys, it's probably could be with US 30 with Dow Jones. For guys, if you're trading futures, the charts are going to be very similar. For US 30 is YM, NASDAQ is NQ, and S&P 500 is ES, or whatever micros of all of that. So yesterday we saw a massive sell-off here during Asian session. Entonces, durante la sesión asiática, una caída muy fuerte, capturando liquidez. So huge sell-off here. The market then actually rebalanced this drop right away and then kind of continued. So I want to double check this move with other data feeds as well. So we can look at this with, for example, let's see, Oanda still made basically equal lows. You can look at this with, let's say, like just a couple different ones. So yes, big wick down, equal lows though. So this is what it's kind of throwing me off for any sort of buy opportunities. And I think the sells are just kind of still make more sense. And then if you look at just any futures ideas, it's a pretty similar approach. So obviously this data feed is delayed, but futures still very similar. So big wick down here. I think taking positions like buys over here, I like them, but I don't like how this is set up. So this is the one thing that I don't like about buys here, is this. So ideally, we had a huge sell-off right here with US 30. Massive move down right there. So market coming back to here could close out a big sell. And then from here, we might be able to get a rejection here. However, you're just gonna, you gotta deal with this right there. So not the best thing. So that's with US 30. That's with possible buy scenarios. Again, this has been very bearish. Structure's bearish. Everything's bearish. So ideally, what we would want is to find our way into sell opportunities. Now, NASDAQ has a clean setup right over here. So idealmente queremos ventas, ya que el mercado está bajista. So NASDAQ has a nice sweep of liquidity and then just melts away. But that's way up here. We need to go up 800 points almost, right? Like 750 points to get up here. That's a massive move, massive. So we have to wait and see for that. All right. Gold just bounced. Yeah, we'll take a look at gold. We'll take a look at a whole bunch of things. We're just kicking this off here. Make sure we're doing our due diligence with the markets that kind of move the most off the rip. Now, beyond that, we also did have some sideways movement, some liquidity, and during the second half of New York session yesterday, we see the market do this. Entonces, vemos el mercado aquí subir empujar hacia arriba por acá y después todo viene bajando, entonces podríamos ver ventas por esta área. So you have liquidity, liquidez, resistencia, right? Resistance. We sweep that. Sideways movement, massive imbalance. So we could see the market work its way over to here. And, you know, eventually that would be a fantastic sell. Obviously, if we're looking at this, then we're thinking, well, couldn't we take a buy up to that zone? We could, but we need proof. We need evidence. We need data to be able to take a trade. And right now, even if I go to the 1 minute time frame, the US 30 is just moving very, very sideways. There's so much liquidity right here. Look at this. This is just trending and trending and trending. The market will probably want to sweep below here and take all this out. So with US 30, I don't really even see any possibilities for buys either, at least not yet. And then NASDAQ here has left some equal highs just all in this range. This is kind of a mess overall. This is all a mess. Now maybe you have right here a drop, and then I think we can mitigate something over here on NASDAQ. The problem with buying NASDAQ is that US 30 has been way more bullish. So let's see how price action plays out today, and then we'll have a better idea. Here you had a pretty nice move down, and then this looks like NAS mitigates. Maybe it might just mitigate here. I don't know if, because this left imbalance and liquidity, so I'm not sure if we're going to see the market mitigate this or not. Because when it came back to this, you see this aggressive reversal. There's definitely smart money comes in here. So did it mitigate this big move, or did it mitigate this move here? I think it did. I would have expected it to sweep liquidity, but it didn't. And it is what it is. So we have New York open in 3 minutes. Entonces, apertura de Nueva York en 3 minutos. Creo que esto ya está más que todo eficiente por estos lados. Las compras realmente no las tengo para Nasdaq, no las tengo para US30. Miren ya US30 empezando bajista. Y está empezando bajista más fuerte US30 en este momento. Guys, and this is super important. This is more advanced price action analysis. But when that bell rings, so in 2 minutes, New York Open starts. And sometimes obviously we start to get movement beforehand. We get a pretty good sign of which indice is going to be the leader of a certain direction right around now. So you see US 30 starting to drop, and more aggressively, like it's dropping at a faster rate. It's already breaking below everything it had seen for the last 2 hours, even more, right? 3 hours or so. NAS is starting to push down, but just not at the same pace. So we actually might see US 30 way more bearish to kick things off. And if US 30, because this happened yesterday, US 30 started off hours before New York Open. US 30 was really bearish, but then New York Open hit, and US 30 was just a raging bull. NAS was really slow and moving higher. S&P was really slow. So US 30 was the leading bull for yesterday, but that switch up happened like in the moment. It actually really changed, which actually caught me off guard. I took an L because of that. So price action can adapt as market conditions become, like we're going to see in a minute. So look at how aggressive US 30 is starting to work its way down. Compare that to NAS, which is moving down, but just not at the same pace. These candles are much larger on US 30. I'm going to put these side by side just because I do want to see how they're going to behave here. So there you go. So now you guys can kind of see this is where we're at with market structure. NAS is going down, just not as aggressive. While, let's see, US 30 pushing through. So let's see, New York Open here in just a couple seconds. Look at how much this is melting away. You know what I mean? So this buys over here, I mean, we might just get something interesting with Nasdaq right over here. So I'd be curious just to see kind of what happens next and what we see on the small time frames here. So look, Nas starting to kick things off to the downside on the open. This is the new candle, right? This is the live New York Open candle. Esa es la vela activa de la apertura de Nueva York. Estamos empezando a caer fuerte, perdiendo un poco de impulso. So we're seeing Nas now, right? Look at, as soon as New York Open hit, now we're starting to see, okay, what is the real market behavior between these indices? US 30 bullish, Nasdaq bullish as well now. Which one has, let's say, more of a aggressive momentum? Looks like US 30 is pushing a bit harder at the moment. Does that change anything? Not really. We're just kind of seeing what's good. We're just keeping our eye on this. Look at this, Nasdaq dropping hard now, right? Just dropped 50 points. US 30, not really, struggling. US 30 is struggling to work its way down. Nas right now liquidating these areas. Okay. From here, what can we see? We might see a Nas reverse from here. It's totally possible, and that might just keep pushing US 30 even further. But right now, Nas is the falling knife. And I am not necessarily afraid of trading a falling knife if it's the lagging setup. Right now, these are moving in completely opposite directions. These are going totally different places. So this doesn't really help its cause at all. And so at some point, they're going to probably get back on right around the same page. So what can we look at now? So can we look at Nasdaq and say, well, are there maybe different types of trades, or could we be looking for a sell? Now that it went down again, is there a different entry here that could give us a possible sell play? And right here, you see that 7:30 candle, that news event? This brings Nas all the way up here. This takes this all the way up here. This is a massive buy setup, or a buy position, and then the market slows down and works its way down. So we're seeing now lower lows. Okay, so could we end up getting selling opportunities over here later? I totally think that's a possibility. Absolutely. And then where would we want to sell? Well, we've seen a lot of resistance up here, support right there, resistance. Sells over here could be nice. So let's see what happens. Look, now US 30 is starting to pick up some speed to the downside. All right, look at that. US 30 is starting to drop. So is NAS further. Okay, so what do we know, guys? And again, for me, it's not just like, oh, what are we going to trade? And what are we doing here? But for me, it's important to be able to position you guys into just quality opportunities and for you to understand why. Let me make sure the stream doesn't just drop off on me. Hey, we hit 100. So guys, Trading Journal giveaway certified. So I will be doing that here. Once things cool down a little bit, I'll be going over something, okay? I'll be doing a giveaway for sure. So anyone that has tagged me on their stories on IG, then you will qualify for that, all right? Okay, so now we're seeing the market get to a good place. We're getting over here now, all right? So like I mentioned, we can get some reversals over here. Market could get into the zone. Market could get down into here, which is where I think it's going to get to. The only issue is these equal lows. So will it sustain or will it go higher? Because we did see, a shift in momentum. So if you wanted to take a position here, maybe with a little bit less risk than usual, you could look for positions with with Dow Jones. I would be looking for something like right around here. You're seeing Nasdaq melt its face off right now. So clearly, if there was ever a time to take any buy positions, then it would be with US 30 over anything else. Again, you are trading against momentum, so you do have to remember that. And then meanwhile, S&P already breaking below these lows as well. Fantastic. And I'm taking a look at futures, and futures is pretty similar. Like those lows are relatively the same. So you might have the market either go here and reverse. Here was the first imbalance. So these are typical reversal areas. Here's another level of imbalance. I would be surprised if we don't get over here. And then this could either wick here, maybe even break below a little bit, or it might just send off. All right, so that's my take here. Entonces, chicos, lo que estoy viendo aquí con este, whoa, massive reversal on NAS right now. Jeez. This is a big move. Massive, massive move. Looks like we got to something important somewhere over here. All right, that's a mitigation if I've ever seen one. Look at that huge reversal. Nice. All right. So again, we want to adapt to market behavior. So look at this. Now let me ask you guys a question. So would you sell in here? I personally, if this keeps going this fast, I'm not going to sell. Si esto sigue subiendo así de rápido, yo no busco vender. And I'll tell you why. Because what this shows me is that there's not demand for down here. The demand for this price, look, at least as of right now, it's just that no one's willing to keep, like, people want price higher, or not people, money, right? Whoever is buying. There's positions, there's demand, there's need for price, very competitive prices. They're saying speculation is that this is going to go higher. So look at this. We just ate this entire New York open candle. And at the same time, it came back to this open. So look at this, right? We saw the huge sell-off. Boom, 148 points. This is absolutely ripping right now. 110 points later. Ooh, this thing is on fire. So if this is not giving me indication that we're bearish. Not yet. Esto no me está dando indicación que estamos bajista, porque bajamos y subimos súper rápido, súper rápido. Entonces prefiero esperar. Si el mercado regresa otra vez, quizás es algo diferente, pero esto no nos está indicando que tenemos comportamientos aquí bajista. Esto nos indica que no, estos precios solo eran para sacar compradores. This was designed to liquidate buyers. You saw it right here. Look at this. You saw some support. You saw this is the Asian session or pre-New York session range. Hold on. Why am I FaceTime? All right. So yeah, we see that here. Clears money there. Clears money here. Clears money here. Clears money here. Right back up. So this may turn into something like this. And then you can see a different type of trading environment. You might get a trade like over here. And the same principle can apply to something like this. But we need this to happen. If it doesn't do this, then there's no buys. All right, it would have to do something like this. And it looks like it's definitely a possibility. Here's the 10-minute candle. Here's the 10-minute candle. So, yeah, I mean, US 30 played out of this structure, the imbalance, mitigated beautifully. So really, really good movement. You know, we saw the market basically almost fully reject. So the big sell-off that happened during Asian session here. And this happened, guys. And all of these markets come together. And I really want you guys to know this. Like, This is next level trading, and I'm going to show you why. And this is why I think this is a really big reason why I think we are going to be going bullish, is because of this. So this is probably something you never thought about looking at. The Japanese index. The Japanese index came to my zone yesterday. Came to right around my zone yesterday that I was waiting for a long time. So during September, we had a huge sell-off. The market needed to rebalance and then rally. And it built up liquidity over the course of the next 5 months. The Japanese index finally liquidated everything yesterday, getting to this level right here. And it got very, very close. Okay, it got very, very close to here. So I think we're getting closer and closer to reversals, because I did have this marked up that we needed to mitigate and rebalance price action around here. We had huge sell-offs and the market, moved sideways until it kept going. So I wanted to see if we were going to get into this area. We got into this imbalance. I don't know if we fully mitigated yet, but we got pretty close. As you guys can see, we got very, very close here. And even right now, we just saw the market work its way on. This is the Japanese index. So we just saw it with the New York Open. Market clears out just slightly below this. Might want to push a little bit further. But so anyways, these are different types of markets. But I want you guys to remember, we're not just trading an asset. They all have it's a whole giant puzzle. So all of these markets become efficient. And so it's like when all the little pieces are put together, then everything can happen. So what are we seeing so far, guys? The market came into here. It pushed all the way up about 140 points on US 30. If we're looking at things over here, then, for example, let's see here. I wanted to show you US 30 individually. So as we look at something like this, and we look at yesterday, that huge sell-off, which was right there, the market starts to, big positions start to enter the market right around here. We start to see the market break down, and right at, even before that, here, obviously you have a huge sells, but everything starts to kind of fall off a little bit before that. And this move here is just about 140 points, either a little bit less, a little bit more. And we just saw the market do that. We just saw it come into our zone and just fly. 140 plus points. NASDAQ, similar situation. Just melts away, comes back up, decent retracement, flying over again. So do I have the desire to sell here? No chance. No chance for me. I'm not getting in the way of this. Why? Because this here, the way it's moving, for me, this is not bearish structure. This is bearish enticement. This is looking to lure in the sellers, in my opinion. So, so yeah, I stay out of the market like that. And that's why I think people misunderstand smart money. I think people still, like, the whole principle behind smart money is not so much, all right, here we go. I'll explain this real quick while the markets are cooking. So, in my perspective, smart money is not about patterns. Yes, things happen. Candlesticks print in certain ways that make it seem like it's another type of pattern, right? It's like, oh, well, is, certain setups aren't they just kind of showing us the same things, as if you were looking at trend lines, or as if you were looking at break and retest, as if you were looking at anything like that? But the difference is that, at least the way I approach trading, with the understanding or even just the belief that there's these higher institutions, right? The composite man that is taking advantage of knowing that there is very predictable price action because of human behavior, and then there's the opportunity to just liquidate positions and do all of that. But for me, in my take on this, is that this is not so much about patterns. It's all about having and understanding the narrative, understanding the context. So it's not just seeing a pattern, like, it's not just seeing something like this where it's like liquidity, whatever, and then the sweep, and then the higher high, and then something like this. This is not enough. For me, it doesn't prove anything. If it's because it's like, okay, well, what is this high? Is this high there for a second? Is this high there for a minute? Is there enough of a demand there? Like, what's the intention of the market getting to here in the first place? Is it to lure in more buyers? Is it to, could it go from here and then go back over here? So that's why, for me, the principle, like the foundation of trading, is supply and demand. And so once we understand how that connects with the principles, then that's when we're able to, I think, just make overall higher quality decisions. So as you're looking at the market and you're thinking about, should I take this buy or should I take this sell? It's like the chart kind of did the thing that I learned to look for. But the only thing you have to add is, okay, maybe the pattern is kind of showing itself, but is there really demand at these specific areas? So adding that extra understanding, in my perspective and in my experience for the last, just kind of the evolution of how I've understood smart money principles, Wyckoff, etc. It's of course, there's like, the candlesticks show you what to look for. Like, the candlesticks show you, it's a visual representation of data. But does it mean exactly what you think it means? No. It's just, candlesticks are another form of like language. It's just another form for you to understand something. So we need to look beyond just like, did it go up or down? Because it's not just about price, or it's about price and time. And if the market, for example, like we're seeing here, if the market doesn't give us enough time, then what really do we have? So like, how do you know that there is, for example, how do you know that there is demand for something? Like, let's say when in 2020, everyone wanted toilet paper, right? It didn't just last for a day. Like, that was like weeks and weeks and weeks of people really just buying way too much toilet paper for no reason. But prices reflected that. They're like, yo, this is crazy. There's so much demand. Raise these prices up. Right now, I think it's like eggs are the situation. So prices go up. Because why? Well, everyone still is buying the same amount, even though price is higher. And so we can keep raising prices because they're still gonna buy. They're still gonna fucking buy them. So yeah. Anyways, that's just I wanted to give you guys some of my take on the smart money perspective in general. Let's see here. Make sure to give Michael like, thanks, man. Who said no? No about what? Nobody bought soap. Make sure to, I appreciate you guys. All right, cool. So let's look at some other things while this is starting to, just show us what it's doing. US 30, in my opinion, is kind of losing momentum as the bull for the day. We'll kind of see, but like NAS is just kind of pushing way more effectively. So we might we might have buy setups later on today. We'll see, because this is a pretty huge move. All right, so let's see this here. Huge sell-off. We may come back for this a little bit later. Gotta plug this in. Okay. So a lot of movement so far, but nothing too conclusive. And remember, patience is your best friend here. The more data you have, the better you're going to be able to perform, and the more consistency you'll be able to have. All right, so cool. Now, who took the GBP USD buy that we waited forever for? Who took this entry here? Who took this buy? Yesterday, I know a lot of you here are members of the community. Some of you are not, but this right here. Oh, I asked if I wanted to sell this up. Okay, thank you. I forgot what I asked. I was like, why is everyone saying no? And this is again an example of, I think, why understanding correlation and divergence helps so much on just making better decisions. But the amount of charts that I saw where people wanted to take buys on AU, people wanted to take buys on NZD USD, and I consider all of these at some point, but price action changed. And so Euro USD, a lot of people wanted to buy this as well, and I said no to AU, no again to NZD, no again to Euro, and I said why? I said, guys, the liquidity we have right here with GBP USD, where Euro and NZD USD were in there were buy setups. Like, if you don't think about any other asset, they all had buy setups. Totally. Like, they did have that type of positions. Like, they were textbook setups. Euro, sweep of liquidity, continuation, gave higher highs. Yeah, like the market came here. People bought this and people lost. And the main thing is, because I just think that, and I know I'm the minority in this, but I think people only trade what they're looking at. They're not trading the market, they're trading an asset. Whereas I consider myself a trader of the market. And so I put other things into perspective. And I wouldn't say I have a perfect science behind it, but it's pretty damn good at this point. So anyways, I waited and waited and waited because GU, the liquidity sweep here from Wednesday, February 19th, this just wasn't there yet. Euro was already here. GU there was more incentive for it to push lower. And so it did, right? And this is where we're at right now. So it did start to give us a reversal. You know, we did see this was the structure overall. Now, and again, I think structure is another one of those things that it's just up to interpretation. It's up to understanding. And so people maybe would argue and say, well, isn't this a higher high? So you have the higher low, or the higher high, the higher low, the higher high. In my opinion, this is not a higher high. Why? Because there's not enough demand. Price goes up and down real quick. So this is not creating a new structure, right? Think about the word in itself. The word itself, structure, requires stability. Structure requires strength. It has to hold weight. This does not hold anything. It comes right back down. So for me, it's like this was the entire range. So anyways, market comes here, mitigates. This is now done its thing. And honestly, it even gave a reentry. But you know, my ass was asleep. And fuck me, right? So it is what it is. All this time and all this just to not be able to take it. And honestly, I would have set a limit if I just would have been a bit more prepared, because normally I don't like to set limits, but because we waited for every other asset, you know, AU, NU, Euro and GU was the lagging setup, could have had the limit set up. The only issue is that part of my trading plan that really helps is my trade management, how I move my stop to reduce risk or to break even, etc. So you run the risk of not being able to manage the trade because, for example, here this gave a nice reaction, goes into profit, and actually this trade only went into drawdown less than 2 pips. So, which would have been fantastic. This was the entry at 75. And so seeing the market 2.5R while I'm asleep is great. But this also could have easily just gone lower again. And then that winner would have turned into a loser because I wasn't up until 6 here. So who knows what would have happened. That's basically 6 hours of price action that I have absolutely no information on. So yeah, that's just part of the reason why I approach the market the way that I approach it. And I think the biggest thing is just I'm at peace with sometimes just not taking a trade that I would have normally taken. Should I move to Europe maybe? Probably. But, it is what it is, still up in the air. And so we'll see how everything goes here. But yeah, GU doing his thing. Nothing I can do there. ¿Qué tal, chicos? Básicamente aquí con Libra Dólar ya mitigó. Ayer hablamos de esta idea que queríamos esperar Libra Dólar. Reaccionó. Yo no tenía límite, yo estaba durmiendo, roncando, entonces se fue sin mí en esta ocasión. So what now with GU? Well, I do think that if this doesn't, let's say, last very much, there is another setup over here that I'm definitely down to take. So I have an alert right there now for GBP USD right here. So if you guys want to draw this up, feel free. Huge sell-off here on the 13th of February. And so that's the case. Now, what does look good on if you're looking at other pairs is, there are some sell opportunities that could play out. So we have, for example, AUD/USD left, pumped up here and then came crashing down. So there's definitely a sell setup over here at some point. And AU's definitely been very bearish, so that gives there's a green light on some of these that look pretty solid, like AU, NU. Euro USD actually gives a different trade. It does both. So it has the liquidity capture here, the sweep of those highs, and then the drop off. That's one. But it also does a second setup right here, which could be a play. But again, I always keep in mind these other pairs and like what's more bullish, what's more bearish, what's house price action. So there's potential there. Pues hay potencial con ventas, chicos, con estas áreas que capturan liquidez, caen, pero es muy importante tomar en cuenta cuáles están liderando los movimientos alcistas o bajistas, y yo personalmente siempre disparo en el activo que está atrasado más. Europe welcomes a mic move. Sick. All right, so from there, let's see here. Gold is dying. The death of gold. Just absolutely losing it all. And yeah, right now we're near, just below price action here from February 6th. But where is silver is the question. Silver is slowly dropping, so it's just not as aggressive. So if you ever wanted to buy between gold and silver right now is definitely not in that same level of, it's just not dropping as aggressive. So buys are better for silver, at least with how price is right now, and then sells are better for gold. So let's look at what's going on. Maybe there's a setup here that has some validity to it, and it looks like maybe it has already happened though. So we saw an aggressive push down here on February 2nd during Asian session. Market pushes down, and then reacts aggressively. So yeah, this already mitigated in my opinion. We already saw that. Looks like there's some liquidity here. Yeah, maybe market wants to target below 30.89, like below this area. I'm not really like too, like, look at the way that this just popped off. This to me looks like big money came in. Aquí se ve como que tenemos una reacción por esta zona. Entonces, esto ya puede estar aquí. Este sí ya como que ya mitigó esta área. Entonces no creo que busque compras aquí. So yeah, not necessarily looking for anything in that zone. Looks like business was taken care of already. Let me clean up some of this. Okay. The other areas, look, comparing silver and gold. You know, we're looking at gold's price action is around where right now? Right around the same times though. So as much as gold is just dropping with more, like just way more aggression, the price action that it's at is actually a little bit behind. So we may see gold look for some reversals around this area. Maybe it looks for reversals around this area. So I mean, we could zoom in here. Just a minute. All right, there we go. US 30 now gaining way more momentum. Nas starting to push up as well, but we're seeing US 30 as the bull. So let me switch back over to US to the on what's happening. So ya pueden ver, miren chicos, aquí ya US 30 agarrando más impulso en comparación aquí a Nasdaq. This is Nasdaq, vean, Nasdaq subiendo por aquí, cerca de estos últimos altos, no cruza, pero US 30 ya está aquí arriba, donde estaba antes de la apertura de Nueva York. Estamos, miren, por acá, operando ya aquí encima. Entonces ya empujando. Entonces, ¿será que vamos a tener esto? Muy posible. So yeah, we're getting better confirmations right now. We're starting to see this unfold. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't start falling into beliefs yet, because at least the way that I approach things, again, I'm just showing you guys what I do. That's it. You can choose to believe whatever you want, and it also can work for you. So that's something that I always like to bring to attention, is like, you don't have to trade how I trade. But let's just say that, you know, there's data to believe that it's not a bad idea. So yeah, I mean, we had the huge sell-offs. Now we're seeing the market rally. If we keep highs up here, then yes, I would love to have some buy positions for us here. So this would end up becoming the zone where I would want to buy, but only if we create demand up there. Otherwise, nothing for me to choose from. Entonces, solo si creamos demanda aquí arriba. Solo si creamos demanda aquí arriba, necesitamos esto para que yo esté buscando compras por estas áreas. Si no hay, entonces yo no tengo compras. So yeah, that's just my rule of how I like to trade. And look at this, like right now it came up and it's coming right back down again. So I'm not going to force buys just because I want to be in the market, just because I want to make money, just because, for whatever reasons, right? No, I can't. Can't be doing that. All right, guys, should I do a giveaway while we, obviously I'm going to keep streaming here for the next hour or so, but should I do this giveaway now or should I do it later? Chicos, hago aquí el sorteo de todo. ¿Ya o qué? ¿Qué dicen ustedes? ¿O lo hago más después? Alright, let's see what we can do here. Okay. Al final? Yeah, someone's saying do it at the end. Okay, we can do it at the end. cool. They said whenever you want, man. Thanks, guys. All right. Looks like ahora para animarnos más. Si no te animas construyendo tu propio futuro tú sola, pues ya no te puedo ayudar yo tampoco. Entonces, soy malo, ¿verdad? Soy malo, ¿verdad? Aquí uno tiene que crear esa dedicación desde por dentro, porque yo no voy a estar aquí con ustedes todos los días. Por eso la gente después dice, no, este solo me pasa regañando, solo me pasa tirando chanclas virtuales. So yeah, this was a little sell, and then the market rallied. So I think it's like trading out of here right now. There's more, obviously there's been more movement, more imbalance. I think with the way metals are dropping, in order to buy again, I think I'm gonna have to just see price action give it to us, like just show us like an actual shift in momentum, and we're better off just selling when the setups are there. So right now, sells are just not really showing up as much. A little bit of a pump here and then it dropped, but it's just not as common. Está animada hasta dormida. Eso es todo. Ok, eso es todo. No, lo bueno es que pues pueden tomar bromas. Alright, so moving beyond gold and silver. I know I was asked about Mexican peso. I'm gonna get there right now. Before that, natural gas, I like possible sells up here. Had a huge push up, market drops. Over here as well, we then saw a news event rise, push market higher, then everything drops again. So I do think that we could still see this be a good play. So I'll give you guys a little bit of time so you can mark this up. I don't know how many of you trade natural gas, but you can trade this on futures too. So whether it's CFDs or futures, this is definitely a possibility. I'll give you guys like a minute to mark this up. Como ves el BTC. I'm going to get into Bitcoin here and crypto in a second as well, which I know those are the burning questions right now. Crypto, what? All right. Okay. Let's go to Mexican peso. Mexican peso for me. You know, they could have made this easier, but they didn't. So, what do we have here? Looks like liquidity to me. Up here, equal highs, altos alcistas aquí, altos iguales, perdón. Liquidity, liquidez. We do see a sweep of liquidity, and then the market drops, and you trade it down here all of London session for the most part. All right, let's see this maybe with different data feeds. It looks better. Nope. Nope. Okay, so yeah, I mean the equal highs are there. This is just, it is what it is. Yes. Oh, that's what I did. There you go. So here you have a lot of liquidity. Then the market, clears the highs and could mitigate right there. It looks like it maybe just did. So yeah, you have like the setup right here, basically. The issue is the liquidity up here though. So this could just blast through to go take this out. That's the problem. Entonces aquí sí vemos un impulso hacia arriba, captura de liquidez. El problema es que aquí hay altos iguales también. Entonces esto puede solo ir encima de esto. El mercado podría, quizás es posible que quiera reaccionar un poco, pero después quiera sacar Aquí hay vendedores minoristas, stop losses hay aquí encima, entonces podría capturar esto ahí. Entonces, un poco más una jugada de menos probabilidades, si lo vemos de esta forma. So yeah, that's kind of the only thing with it. Ni no hablar español. That's okay, we're speaking both languages. You can always learn. Okay, Solana. Sheesh. Man, these I bought some yesterday around here. I think it was like 130, 127, something like that. Very nice, very nice. So this is what I love about what we're seeing right now. So the question begins, is it altcoin season finally? So right now giving us higher highs. Obviously we want more demand. So this right here. Oh, this is good. This could be good. We want demand, right? Put it in all caps. We want demand. That's Sol. Ethereum. Come on, buddy. Wakey, wakey. We want this to get up here too. ETH gives us higher highs. Ooh. Then we really may be seeing a shift here in momentum. We want this, right? This is what we want. Then whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, hold on. I know, I'm not there yet. The daily, we got to price action below the liquidity. This is what we needed. We needed the daily to get below all of this. So right now, ETH liquidated everything up till November 2023. Yes, this has been cleaned up. Bitcoin, which I'll go over in a second. So here's the thing though. What we want to see is, can ETH flip Bitcoin though? Because right now, ETH dominance over Bitcoin keeps going down and down and down and down and down. This was almost cool. We almost had it, guys. We almost had it. Close, but no, guys. So what happened here? The 15-minute, we saw a flip in momentum. Huge sweep. Market gets above these highs, and there's demand. But on the smaller time frames, this just refuses to give us a shift in momentum. We went all the way back down, all the way. So unless we start to see a flip here with ETH over Bitcoin, this is what we need to see. We need to see price get above here again, and then things can start to get fun again. But we are seeing alts hold very well. Bitcoin on a rampage, still right over here. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. Now remember, we're looking at ETH and Sol. Sol's already on its mission. Sol's already doing its thing, already breaking these highs, trading well above Thursday's London session price action. ETH is nowhere close. It's trying, and then Bitcoin has a lot it needs to get to. It needs to get above 87,000. So still another 4,000 pips away for Bitcoin here, but not that it can't. Not that it can't. But this really startled everyone. So let's see what happens. We want demand over here, right? Price gets to here. We see this. I like this. I like this. And then, we can come back into where would we trade from? That's a different question. We can get to that some other time. Also, guys, quick update. I forgot to mention this. Is tomorrow March? Yeah, right. So every month, I'm going to be doing a trading psychology Q&A on Sundays. So once a month, I'm going to do a Q&A for all of you guys on just trading psychology, mindset, things like that. So I'll be live here. I'll be live right here on Sunday at 3 o'clock, all right, in English. And then I'm going to do a Spanish one at 4, and this Chicago time. So I'll set it up here in a sec. But yeah, just so you guys can make sure you're up to date with those things. So if you guys want to go ahead and make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications on for that, that would be a pretty good idea. So let's see here. Do I have like a trading psychology thing? No, okay. Alright. Give me a sec, guys. So let me actually set it up so you guys can just let's see, March trading psychology Q&A, and would that be March 2nd? Let's see here. Pretty sure. Oh, there's a 29th. Ah, that I did not know. Wait, hold on. I might be looking at this backwards. Oh, never mind. It was like doing March thing. It was weird. It wasn't showing me February. It was showing me March. All right, cool. So yeah, March 2nd, Sunday. Perfect. Cool. So yeah, this is about to be set up for y'all. So bring your questions about where you're at in your journey. All right. Do that, and then we'll be all good to go. So let's see here. Wow, US 30 just tanked. So look at this. It started to build up some demand over here for the last 15 minutes or so, a decent amount. NASDAQ still trading up here, still holding better structure in my opinion. It's looking like it's holding up a little bit better. So our NASDAQ sell-off was right here. We've been up and down. We've been chopping up quite a bit. This is building up liquidity as well here. So as of right now, you know, and because for me it looks like we can have possible buy scenarios, but we just have to tread lightly. And US 30 just tanked aggressively over to here. Not quite getting into the zone yet, so still going to give it a little bit of time to build out, while Bitcoin is just eating up the market right now, which is awesome. Alright, so where is this thing? Okay, so I'm looking for a flyer, but I don't know where this thing is. That's fine. Okay, so as you can see here, it looks like NAS is going to be holding up a bit better. So if we are going to see buys, let's hope that this actually holds a little bit longer. Otherwise, it's really not gonna be worth it. Like it could just crack through. So I think I'm just gonna basically wait and see. I want to see us having real demand in order to, to make a setup here. Oh, here we go. All right. So March 2nd. So it took me forever to set this thing up. Appreciate you guys having patience here. All right. So if you guys go to actually, I'll just drop the link so you guys can just get the notification once it's live here on Sunday. So here it is. So check this out. Now the thing is, I know a lot of you are not going to show up, but it is what it is, and it's the one that you need the most. But March trading psychology Q&A. All I know is that the people that hop on this one, the people that are on the psychology sessions that like nurture the way that they process their thoughts, their emotions, these are the people that win over time. Anyone can just take a trade, make some money once, twice even. But to be able to have that level of consistency, to trust in yourself, to make just disciplined behavior actions, it's a whole other beast. And it's just the reality of this. So definitely make sure you plug it in. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday there. But as of right now, I do think we're setting up here. Looks like Nas wants to hold a bit better. Let's see, maybe US 30 is going to come back over here and do its thing as well. So we will just kind of stay relatively patient. Aggressive reaction here. Yes. Okay, so give me a sec, guys. I'll do a breakdown in Spanish. Entonces, chicos, con cripto, básicamente yo lo que quiero ver es que tengamos tendencia alcista aquí para empezar a comprar con otra vez más a largo plazo, con trading. Portafolios, síganle metiendo, en mi opinión. Pero en trading quieren tener demanda aquí. Hay que tener esa demanda para poder que estas cosas pues les vaya bien. Solana aquí manteniendo tendencia súper bien, pero las gráficas que más importan no son estas, son las de capitalización de mercado. So guys, what I do want to show you overall is the overall market cap. This is what helps you, whether you're looking at portfolio things or you're looking at day trading. If you want to understand these markets better, again, you want to look at the market. You don't want to just look at an asset. So like the total market cap here came to this price action from November 9th, right? Rebalanced things here super well, and you guys are seeing we're seeing the bounce off of these previous key levels, rebalanced, played off market structure. Fantastic. Can we go lower? It's possible. We need to see. We need to wait and see. Now total 2 here dipped just a little bit below. Total 3 here stayed within this massive wick from February 3rd. And then a very key chart here is the others chart. This chart is everything outside of the top 10 in crypto. This also stayed within February's. Everything else went all the way back to November's price action. But altcoins they're just not dropping at that same rate. They're not. Right now, alts are recovering really well. Does this mean, as of right now, does this mean that it's all good? That we're bullish, that it's not going to go lower? What do you think? What do you guys think? Does this mean that we got the lows for the next foreseeable future? Or what's your take on this? So right now, we gotta wait a little longer. If you're looking to leverage trade anything, or like swing trade something, I don't know yet. Like I would rather just have a higher convicted play than anything else, right? So I want to see us to get above here and create demand. But the others chart is on fire. It's going really, really well. You're looking at total market cap. You're looking at, just the rest of these. Everything is moving really well to the upside. Now, of course, right now, this can change. This could end up coming up, and then it just becomes a massive drop again. It's totally possible. So you always want to make sure you're looking at things from both sides, the bullish side and the bearish side. You want to make that something that's like your hope or your need for your portfolio to be higher. Don't let that, cloud your judgment overall. So right now, things are looking solid. What to me is the most impressive is that the altcoin market didn't get below February's low, while Bitcoin and ETH got to November price action, and we had Bitcoin got to November's price action, this imbalance, and ETH got to 2023 prices. So it's pretty impressive. I think we will see a 70K BTC before the next bull run. We already saw 70,000. You think we get back down to here? It's possible. We'll see. We shall see. All right, Nas just hit an alert. Which alert did Nas just hit? All right, let's go. Let's get into mode. All right. Nas just hit an alert. What alert is this? So yeah, all right. Markets bullish. These are ripping. And now, what alert did I have over here, and why? Just an old alert, I guess. Okay, cool. So look, this is starting to show 5-minute accumulation type of vibes. Now, again, remember how I was talking about how you don't want to just look at an asset. You want to look at the market, the financial market. So when you look at, let's say, something like this, and you're looking at NASDAQ, and you see NASDAQ came back to, December price action. And remember, NASDAQ already did its thing, and US 30 already did its thing with elections, right? Price action is already mitigated with elections already. That already went down with the stock market. Dow Jones, at least. Okay. Then NASDAQ rebalanced. Price action. We rebalanced here. We didn't mitigate, but we did rebalance. Okay. S&P 500 also. Right here. This is Tuesday, elections day. Came back into this day. Healthy price action. Okay. So indices look relatively solid. All at the same time, Bitcoin here played out of this imbalance. Bitcoin over here. Obviously hasn't come back down to 73, 74K or anything like that. Haven't seen that yet by any means, but it did play off of this November 10th, which was basically a few days after President Trump got elected. But it did play out of this area here. And over here, my bad, there was a mitigation zone. So everything kind of just lined up all at the same time. Which was right here. Played out of the zone. Here was a sweep in the rally. We got there and into some imbalance, and then this thing ripped. So things look interesting here. We have price action here from Tuesday elections. All right, push down, sideways, comes back down, comes back up, and then back down. Played out of structure, rallied. Yes, we don't get into this imbalance yet, but do we need to? Is the real question. Does this need to happen right now? I don't know yet. We'll see. But if the 1 hour gives us a higher high, then I'm cool starting to take this back up. If we start to flip momentum again, then cool, we'll flip momentum again. But I'm not hoping or waiting for prices to go lower and lower and lower if everything else basically looks efficient. I'm cool with starting to add positions. To me, totally cool. So yeah, that gives you perspective. Entonces, chicos, cuando vemos el mercado de acciones, se ve muy alcista. Cuando vemos, ya se ve eficiente. Cuando vemos el mercado de criptos también. Entonces, los mercados en general se ven súper saludables, ya eficientes. Por eso es que creo que puede el mercado seguir subiendo. So when you look at the overall markets in general and you put them all together, it all looks pretty solid. BTC played off of the futures gap Sotero's been talking about. Sweet. Bitcoin needs to chill. Thoughts on oil? Yeah, I can look at oil. Actually, that's a good point. What does futures look like? I don't actually look at futures charts as much over here. Oh, that is a nice gap right there. Well, I mean, yeah, it was the same thing. It was the same thing. Very nice. Some rebalancing here. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm really curious how this weekend goes. I'll be honest with y'all. Very curious about how this weekend goes. So, to further educate you guys and confirm understanding, para que tengan más conocimiento y educarlos un poco más de estas dos ideas. So if you guys look at these two, so si comparan estos entre US30 y Nasdaq, if you look at these two right here, and we'll make this zoom out a little bit. US30, Nasdaq. ¿Cuál de estos dos se ve como la compra que prefieres tomar? So if you were to take a buy here, which of these two do you have preference with? Like, what would you rather take? US 30 buys here or Nasdaq buys? What do you guys think? Thoughts on dog at current price? I'm just buying more, bro. All I'm doing is buying more dog. That's it. All I've been doing, brother. Stacking them up. All right, let's see here. You guys say Nasdaq all day. Schnazzy, Nas. The gap was from around the election. The gap was bounded before that at some point. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Amazing. So yeah, right now it looks like we're seeing, just about, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Like, we're starting to build out that demand for NAS at these levels. NAS is starting to look like this could possibly be actually a shift in structure. Like here, you guys seeing lower low, everything has been bearish, and then now if price can just hold this a bit longer, we can just really see this play out. Then NASDAQ buys look fantastic, and I would want to take positions somewhere in this area here. Like this would kind of be the zone for buys, in my opinion, where I think we have a high opportunity, high probability of success would be in this zone. Sweep some of these liquidity right there, clear some of this out, and then just take it for a spin. So yeah, probably right around here, right around 20 on NASDAQ. Looks like on this data feed, this is what it would be like. If we're looking at futures, if we're looking at your future here, I'd be looking at something around, check this out. See how different these look. Saw some liquidity here. So equal lows. Alright, cool. Alright, perfect. So yeah, I would be looking at some buys around this zone. We have support. So this is kind of where we've seen some key reversals before. So right around this zone is where I'd be looking for buys with NAS. If we're not just gonna keep melting away, because if this thing just dies right now, then what is this? This could be this whole move up was to clear out sellers, and then what? Now we're bearish again. That's possible. That's possible. So yeah, let's just see how things start to unfold. Let's just give this time. But if it is going to be a good play on futures, I'm looking at roughly, kind of seeing price clean this up and getting, let's say, below 25.40 and under. Yeah, 25.40 and under would be probably where I would want to take a position. I'd at least clear out this liquidity, but yeah, something like that is what I would be focused on. Hola Mike, te envié el formulario y me escribiste a WhatsApp, pero dañé mi teléfono y podrías volver a escribir para el link. Bro, te escribí en Instagram. Yep. Guys, to wrap this up, this session, I will be taking in people who want to trade with me live in the mornings. Get your systems down, just get everything up to speed. Basically, anyone who wants to be coached by me and just have access. I'm only going to be taking 5 more people up until Monday. So if that's you, fill out the form that I have here, and yeah, we can dive into it. So I'll show you guys, but I'm not playing. Like, I'm just gonna take only 5. I want to make sure I can work with you guys. So I'll drop it in here, chicos. Los que quieren aprender y arrancar conmigo, entonces aquí voy a poner el formulario. Los que quieren conectarse a los vivos, tener acceso a todos mis cursos, tener capacitación conmigo directamente, pues aquí ya está. Con todo se puede hacer. So let's see here. Alright, here it is. So here is the link. Will I drop on Blaze if it's valid? No. No, we're not taking any more trades on Blaze until March. I'll drop on Go Social though. Yeah. So learn with. Here you go. So there's a link in the chat if y'all want to go ahead and just, if you're serious, guys. If you're not, just don't waste each other's time. If you're not in the position to do that, then don't worry about it. Just keep showing up here. And then whenever you are, cool. Let's see, where is... All right, so let me give away this this trading journal. Let's go. Who's gonna be the winner today? Winner. All right, guys. Let me check my stories. I'm gonna throw all your names into a random picker. Trading journal. Who's been using it so far? Who's been using their journal? Who's been getting a lot of value out of it? Let's go. All right, let's see here. Y'all, there's no way, dude. I think either this thing doesn't work the way that I think it's supposed to work, but according to this, all right, here we go again. Y'all not trying to. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna do a random name picker, and then let's see who's on here. So yeah, like I'm not. Let's see, it's Geo, and then who's the other person? Y'all missing out. Like, this thing literally costs like $50, and y'all are getting it for free. Hey, I bought a journal, but did the app. No, I can't recover it. Check your email. Check your email. It's the same thing. All right, let's see. It's Geo, Linda. Y'all just needed to tag me. And y'all are playing games right now. All right. I'll take it. You just have to follow instructions, man. Let's see who wins this. Looks like and then Geo, bro. It's all yours, dog. Hit me up. So yeah, wait for this one. It looks to me like we're gonna get enough demand. We've been trading up here for a bit now, so I think we're gonna get a good demand and look for buys over here. Entonces, chicos, aquí miren, tienen esto. La entrada está cerca del 78.6. Por aquí, por esta zona, si se le hace más fácil, podrían entrar. Entonces, por aquí. Entonces, captura esta liquidez y entradas por aquí para compras. So, yeah, I mean, awesome stuff, guys. Chicos, el domingo a las 4 que doy la sesión de psicología, vamos a hacer una sesión de preguntas y respuestas. Entonces, lleguen con preguntas. Cada mes voy a hacer una sesión en vivo donde hablamos sobre cosas que tenemos que mejorar en la mente, problemas psicológicos, cómo mejorarlos, tener soluciones. Entonces, ahí los veo. So, yeah, guys, you guys have it there. I'll see you guys on Sunday. It's already set up and scheduled, so you guys can plug in, and then we'll go from there. So, yeah, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you again very soon. I'll see you all on Sunday. So, take care. Much love.